Hi, friends. It's Julie Merrill here with Ascending Mentoring. I am a life coach that is faith based principles, and I love to use Christian values to help you in your life, but more particularly if you're in relationships, to help you strengthen your relationships. I have a passion about helping couples strengthen their marriage and doing that with really great skills that are proven to work, but connecting those skills with truths and with Christ, because He is the one that heals all wounds and helps us connect. Today, I want to talk about in marriage how when you are committed to your spouse, that, well, I actually like to use the word partner. And I like to use the word partner because in a relationship, I would like you to look at your husband or wife as your partner and that you are in a partnership with them. There's so many things that happen in our marriages that we feel often that we are the victim, or sometimes we feel that we're the martyr and we just have to give up the things that we might want to do or the things that we love to keep the peace or to keep people happy. And sometimes in our marriages, we feel like we're just surviving. I don't want you to feel like any of those three things. I know in my marriage, it has taken me time to get out of all three of those archetypes, where I went from feeling like I was a martyr, thinking it was good to always be sacrificing and my needs weren't being met, to going to a victim because now I was upset that my needs weren't being met. My time maybe was not respected, or my opinion or views. And so now I was the victim, to now fighting back and being the one that was surviving. Well, I'm going to tell you one thing that I'd like you to really look at and decide where you're at in these archetypes is, can you transition to a partnership where together you and your partner are working on the marriage, the relationship, the issues? And it isn't your partner that's the problem. It isn't actually the problem that's the problem, the issue, the concern, finances, kids, in laws, jobs, whatever it might be. But it's how you two are looking at it and reacting to it, and either working together or working against each other towards a solution. So, can we be a partnership in our marriage? Now, I want you to know that for the longest time, a marriage to me, biblically speaking, a man is to cleave unto his wife, leave his parents and cleave unto his wife. That we might become one is another phrase. And I used to think of that as really trying to somehow integrate myself with my husband. That turned into a lot of codependent actions, a lot of codependent patterns, and that wasn't feeling good, and it wasn't giving me the result that I wanted. When I could step back and in prayer ask my Heavenly Father, what am I missing? How can I show up in this marriage as an individual and honor my needs and honor who I am and my skills and my likes and my gifts, and allow my husband to show up the way he is with his likes, his opinions, his skills, his gifts, and still become one? How does that happen? How do I do that? And what I learned was beautiful. I want you to imagine a triangle. And you're at one corner of the triangle, 3 points. So you're at one point of the triangle, either the bottom right or the bottom left. And your partner is at the other point, the bottom right or the bottom left. But at the top of the triangle, in that point, is where God is. And together, you create this very strong shape of a triangle. Triangles, when they are put together, can hold a lot of weight. They become a really strong foundation. And as you work together and you stay on your side of the triangle and you move upwards closer to God, and you allow your spouse to stay in their lane on their side of the triangle, and they continue to move upward closer to God, and your relationship with each other is strong, even though you're on opposite sides of the triangle, because you're connected with the top point, which is God. And as we're striving to become more and more like Him and what He would want us to be, we're moving closer and closer up to Him. And you can see that the distance between you and your partner is shortening. At the very bottom, you were the furthest away. You're both yourselves, you're both independent. But as you start to become more and more like God, and you move up the triangle, the closer you become to be like Him, and you start to resemble each other because your hopes, your aspirations, your focus is more God-like. And the whole time, you're in a partnership in your marriage with God, and He is the binding factor. That's how you cleave unto your partner, your spouse, because you are connected with God in that triangle, and He's teaching and helping and allowing you to progress in this marriage. And we're becoming more and more like our Father in heaven as we stay in the triangle and we stay in our own lane. Let me tell you what the problem is with that. Often, at least my experience, when you're in that triangle, for me, I'll speak for myself, I'd be on my side, in my lane, moving up towards God, and I'd look over at my husband and think, come on, get it together. Let's come up here. I feel like you're not as far up as I am. And I'd move over to his side, and I'd be in front of him, encouraging, teaching, trying to push him along. But what happens when I leave my side of the triangle and I move over to where my spouse is, my partner, my husband, my back is now to God because I'm looking at Him and I'm seeing all the things that I think He can do better, even if it's in an encouraging way, a supportive way. I have gotten in His lane, and now my focus is on my partner instead of God. And he can't see God because he can't see through me. He's got to look around to try to find his connection with God. I really am in the way. So if you can stay on your side of the triangle, focused on God and divine help, encouraging, loving, and supporting your spouse, your husband, your wife, no matter where they are on their side of the triangle, that is where that beautiful interdependence shows up. Instead of being codependent, I'm only happy when my husband's happy. I only feel safe and comfortable when I know he's safe and comfortable. I only feel loved and respected and valued when my wife tells me that she loves me and she shows me respect and value. That codependent, my feelings and my well-being is dependent on how someone else is feeling and how they're emotionally connecting with me. That just gets us tied to each other, and we get out of our lane and we get moved over to the side where our partner is. So let's create an interdependent relationship with divinity, with our Father in heaven, as we move up the triangle, focused on Him, encouraging, loving, and connecting with our partner on the other side. That was such a game changer for me when I learned about codependency and interdependency, and I had this visual of this strong shape of a triangle and where I fit on the triangle and where I got to stay. I hope this helps you today. It's a little quick tidbit from me to you. Until next time, friends. Bye.